Hello and welcome to Soups and Sabers. It is Superman Sundays as we are dropping these every Sunday leading up to James Gunn's Superman. My name is Jordan, and with me, as always, is Chris. How are you today, Chris?
I'm doing great. I got the hat on so you don't see my Guy Gardner haircut right now.
Oh, okay. Good.
Not really, but
We
I
don't
was
want to
trying
see
to
that.
come up with something.
And today we have a special guest joining us today, Nick Zednik, known as Zeddy affectionately by most people online, I would say. How are you today, Nick?
I'm doing good. It's great to be here with you guys. I'm very honored to be chatting some Superman with you guys. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for coming on. Like I mentioned offline, and people might be used to it if they listen to our show here, we like to give a couple questions so people can get to know the guest in case if this is their first run in with you. Um, so I have a few questions for you, some general
Hmm.
DC since we're talking DC today, and then a couple Superman questions because it's Superman Sunday, so we gotta get that. All right, how about your favorite DC hero?
Hmm. My favorite DC hero. I'm gonna make a cop out here because even though I might have a Superman shirt on,
Mhm.
numero uno is Batman. But
Right.
guy on
Same.
this chest right here. This is if there's like a 1A, I would give that to Superman. So there you go.
How about your favorite DC film?
DC film of all time is Batman Begins.
Okay. All right.
Can't hate on that.
Yep. I'm actually one of those rare people that while I would consider The Dark Knight as one of the all-time greatest pieces of American cinema, one of the greatest films ever made, I actually happen to prefer Batman Begins over the Dark Knight.
I
We
There you
prefer
had
go.
another.
Batman Begins as
Yeah,
well, but I am not as high on The Dark Knight. We're not going to get
There you
into
go.
it today,
yeah.
but yeah,
Go
that
off
is.
comment section.
This
Yes.
isn't
Yeah.
the first time this take has been said on this podcast. In fact, we had another guest
There you
do
go.
the same thing. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. Bonus episode.
How
oh hell
about
yeah.
favorite let's go like comic run for DC, like or
Hmm.
character that you like to get the comics for, like if it's Detective Comics, Action Comics, Superman, Batman, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, which one do you like have to be sub to or have to check out?
Obviously, like I love my fair share of Batman comics, but you know what? All-Star Superman is my favorite Superman story of all time. It is right there next to For All Seasons for Superman.
Funny you say that. Next week we're dropping our All Star Superman coverage, so look at that. Didn't even have to
Look at
ask
that.
you to plug that, but
Nope, I knew.
okay. How about your favorite Superman actor so far?
Favorite so far. Yeah, this is the great setup for what we're gonna do here. It's incredibly tough because we've had a lot of really really good ones, and if we were doing an actor ranking, I'm sure this would be
Yes.
like a 3 hour, 4 hour show. But to keep it simple, um, I would have said Christopher Reeve on any other day, but I'm actually gonna say Tyler Hoechlin is my favorite Superman actor at the
Woo!
moment. Yeah,
I like that.
Not to fire
and
off
and,
a
and
hot
I mean that
take.
sincerely. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, not to fire off a hot take. I think Christopher Reeve is great, but I do think that at some points we have just had that conversation for so long where people just say he's the best, can never be replaced, and it makes people just immediately put him above everybody else. But
Hmm.
I think, yeah, Tyler Hoechlin is up there for me. I'm a big Smallville fan. Can I say he played Superman? Not really, right? But he's my favorite Clark
Right.
Kent
Yeah.
for sure.
Right.
So like,
Yep.
yeah, that is
Yeah.
uh, that's how it works. But no, good call
Yeah.
with Tyler Hoechlin, I think.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, and a fun question here that I've
Ooh.
like to ask here. This is not a typical question, I feel like. You are transported to the world of DC for a vacation. Where are you
Ooh.
going? What are you doing?
Oh wow. If I can just break the rules for 1 day only, I have to go to Themyscira. I
There
just
you
have
go.
to.
Okay.
You know, sorry. You got the Amazons. You got a nice view. You got everything you need over there. I feel like. There you go.
Yeah, that's you got beaches, right? You got all that
Can
stuff.
can maybe get away with hitting on Wonder Woman, get punched in the face a few times. Just there you go.
Alrighty. Well, I guess let's go ahead and let me pull up the tier list. I'm gonna go ahead and pull it up. My typical answer to that is I would like to go to like, I would love to go to um, Metropolis just to like try to get a good sight of Superman, right? But then
Oh,
I also
yeah,
got to hit up Central City and hit up the Flash Museum. I feel like
sure.
I'm a museum guy, I'm a history guy, so that is up there for me.
I love how nobody would say like they would love to just go to Gotham.
No,
Like that's like
Yeah.
the one place
Yeah.
that's the one place you cannot go. I'm sorry.
it doesn't matter. Yeah.
I just want to go to a Big Belly Burger.
Oh, there you go.
All right. Here it is. Here's the tier list. I'm gonna try to zoom in maybe a little bit more, see if that can
Yeah.
help us out here. Okay. So here is the tier list. If some of these I had to look up because I was not familiar with who some of these were, because they've put like everybody on this thing. I did have to add a couple, so if people are looking for this one online, you will not find it with Corn Sweat, the Fleischer Superman and Lois suit, the Superman and Lois suit at all, or the Tom Welling red jacket, blue shirt. You would not find those on there. I had to add those myself, but the rest of them were already on there. So we're going to try to do a collective tier ranking. Come to a, if one of us really loves the suit, maybe one of us will acquiesce, and say, all right, yeah, let's move that up. But I think it'll be interesting to see which ones are like no doubt abouters for either being really good suits or really poor suits. Um, how excited are you for the movie so far, Zeddy? Like, what is your meter for this as we're building up to it here?
Yeah, I feel like I'm the most excited for James Gunn Superman that I have been for a long time in a comic book movie, and maybe it's because it's been ages since we've had a solo Superman movie. This is the jump start of a hopeful, promising DC universe. I love the cast, everything that I've seen so far, and I just feel like it's the right time to get Superman going on the big screen. I feel like it's the right time for this character to hit off in ways for a general audience to really resonate with this character, for it to hopefully be the highest grossing Superman movie of all time. But I just think like we need that Superman movie that makes people feel good. I feel like it's been a really long time since you've had a lot of people walk out of a theater and say this movie just makes me feel like I'm a good person. It makes me feel good, makes me feel warm inside. So I feel like this movie, if it's done the right way, can really be like a generational comic book movie. And I don't say that to be hyperbolic. I don't say that to be naive, but I am really, really, really excited for this movie, and I do think it's going to be great. I know James Gunn's never let me down personally. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like he hasn't really missed. So if he's going to be the guy that like does Superman the right way, he's definitely going to be up there as far as like all time comic book directors. But I feel like this movie so far, it's checked every box for me. And I'm just really looking to be in that theater, and hopefully everybody's in coherent that the movie's great. So that's what I'm hoping for.
And I think it's very well said, because I think I feel similarly. Chris feels similarly in the sense of everything we see from this movie seems to be uh, the right thing, or the thing I want to see from a Superman movie, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
having the Daily Planet crew, having his interacting with other heroes, as I know some people were worried about maybe overstuffing, but like as Gunn said, these are his coworkers when it comes to
Yeah.
these other, both his coworkers at the Daily Planet and his coworkers when he's out saving the world. And I like that dynamic. It feels very DCAU to
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
me.
it
So
does.
I
Yeah.
feel
Yeah.
very excited about that. And, you know, James Gunn hasn't missed for me at all, in the sense of like I was a huge Creature Commandos fan to kick it off here. The Suicide Squad is my favorite DC film, and
Mm.
the Guardians films and the holiday special are
Yeah.
very good too. So,
Eh,
and
yeah.
Peacemaker, right? Like, oh my god, like just
Yep.
listing off what he's done in the comic book realm, and it's like, yeah, if he
Mhm.
nails this is. I mean, he's already
Yeah.
on that Mount Rushmore for me, but if he nails
Yeah.
this, it's like I'm putting
Yeah.
him probably in that first spot or something.
Well,
Yeah, you
it's
would have.
it's Christopher Nolan, the Russo brothers, and James Gunn, and then you can have a conversation with the other spot. But I'm one of those
Mhm.
people
Raimi's
who,
up there, right?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I'm one of those
Yeah.
people though that likes Guardians Volume 2 almost as much as I like the others. Like I love every Guardians movie. The
Mm.
holiday special is like one of the only things I have to watch for Christmas, and like I just huge James Gunn stan. Like I can't get enough James Gunn content. I think it's the right balance of heart and funny, and I think his detractors play too much into the idea. Oh, it's just stupid jokes. First off, none of it's ever stupid, even when it's like
Mhm.
lower level humor. But like it's so heartfelt and character driven. So we were worried
Mhm.
about like all the people in this movie. It's going to be a centered story, just like the Guardians films were. That was a huge ensemble. So I couldn't be more
Yeah.
excited, and I love what I'm hearing from you guys.
Yeah. And he always finds a way to nail down the emotion, right? So like
Hmm.
you just know that we're all gonna be a bucket of tears at some point
Yeah,
in the movie, right? Like he always finds a way.
yeah. No, I
I
agree.
was crying over James Gunn or John Cena in spandex in Peacemaker, so it's like
Yeah.
I'm not worried
Yeah,
about this movie. Yeah.
Cena sitting there in his underwear, like playing the
Right.
piano,
Yeah.
and I'm in tears. Yeah, uh,
That sounds like a bad lib too.
yeah, it
Right.
does.
Yeah. It's
Okay, I guess let's figure out how we're going to approach this now. We have for the audio listeners, I recommend checking this episode
mm,
visually. But we have the tier list up here. I'll do my best to describe which ones we're looking at, I guess.
mm.
But do we want to try to just pick random ones because it's in a random order as it is. So do we want to just kind of start with like the iconic Christopher Reeve and then work our way just picking
Like
out
just do like
ones we like?
movies and then TV, or do we do like a movie and then a TV?
Oh, good
Or we
idea.
could start
You
by
know?
like just getting some of the bad ones out of the way. Like the Nick Cage ones can just go
Those are
pretty
S
low, I
tier,
think.
dude. I'm just kidding.
Like like one of
We're gonna
so
have a
one of
fight.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
right.
one of
It's
the Nick
depending on who you ask.
one of the Nick Cage ones can go in the C tier, but one of them has to go in the D tier.
No, yeah.
I think
Okay.
it's probably fair,
Let's
actually.
start with
Yeah.
the Nick Cage then. So this is
Yeah.
like
What is
his
that?
Superman
Is that like
Lives.
his screen test?
I
Like
think
series?
so. I think it's a
Okay.
screen test.
That makes a lot of sense.
It is
Wondering
fun.
why they would put that on there. That's a weird like.
It is a
You're right.
weird one. But this is at D, right? Like there's
Yeah.
there's
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would actually
No,
think you'd put
no
it as one from
question.
the Flash, but I guess that's the other one. So
that would be
yeah,
the other one. Yeah, I guess.
I mean, you
yeah,
can
yeah.
put it at D because it was used so stupidly, but like I feel like objectively it would be a C tier, like by on visuals.
So here's the issue I have with the other Nick Cage one is it has trunks, but they're almost like Speedo trunks.
I was gonna say they don't look like
Yeah.
they don't look like
Okay.
natural trunks
Just
to
put a
me.
D
Yeah.
tier. Just put a D
Yeah.
tier.
Okay, we'll put both those in the D tier.
If the
Now,
honestly if the trunks looked a lot better, you can honestly make a case that like that's a higher
Because
oh
that
tier
yeah,
yellow
suit.
pops.
oh yeah, yeah.
That
If
yellow
Yeah,
and blue
the
pops. Yeah.
yeah,
if the
agreed.
trunks were not Speedos,
Uh-huh.
it would be
All
up there
right.
for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got Nick Cage out of the way. That's one way to
Sorry,
do
Nick
it.
Cage. Yeah.
All right,
I
let's go
love
Sorry,
the
Nick
Christopher.
actor
Cage.
actually. It's just not a Superman thing.
Sure.
Yeah, do we? Okay, what
That's
do you
fair.
think of that? Would he have been a good Clark Kent in Superman Lives? This is
I
one
can't see
casting I
it.
never understood, honestly.
I can't
Anytime,
see it.
no.
I'd like to exercise my Fifth Amendment rights.
Okay, you're worried about Nick Cage coming to get you. He's much better off as
Sure.
Spider-Man Noir than he is
Oh, I can't wait for
being
that.
Clark.
Yeah.
Okay, let's look at Christopher Reeve, 1978. I would say like this is the one most people have as like the iconic live action suit. My biggest knock against it is probably it doesn't hold up as well today with it just being like nylon or like
Hmm.
cloth. But I don't know. Let's get your thoughts first, Chris. Let's go ahead and your thoughts on the Reeve suit and where maybe you would put it if you could,
All right, to me this is
if you
A
were in
tier.
charge.
To me this is A tier. They got it perfect for the time, and I'm not criticizing it for maybe not looking like it would look today. I think that this is a suit that has the best blue S you could have at the time. It just looks like Superman. It was the definitive look for so long. I think Christopher Reeve gets a lot of credit because he did a lot of damn good things, but that movie was
Mm.
well made, and that suit was looking, especially with the red boots, standing on the wall, looking at the criminal. Yeah, you
Yeah.
know, that that's just one of those iconic moments. So, and I can't think of a moment where the Superman's boots stood out so much for me. So to me, it's A tier. It's not S tier because there's some I like more, but I think back in the day it was S tier.
Mm.
Okay, Zeddy, your thoughts on the Reeve suit?
Yeah, I agree with everything that was said on that front, but I feel like for right now, and obviously I know we had said off the top that we can jump around with placement and things like that if we
Yeah.
need to. I feel like I have to put this in S tier. Um, just because I feel like the thing for me is like what makes a Superman suit so good is obviously the way that it makes you feel, and you got to
Hmm.
look at the tone of the movie that it's in.
Mm-hmm.
So, I feel like, excuse me, because of how bright and awful it is. Excuse me. I'm just so excited to talk about the suit.
Yeah, the suit's getting to you.
I know.
Yeah. Well, for that
There you
reason,
go.
I mean,
Yeah.
that infection, we got to get it to S.
No, and like I like because of like how bright and hopeful it is, and it's like I to
I'm
me like
not
I
gonna
do
die
agree.
on
Like
that
it
tree.
it's definitely a dated Superman suit. Don't get me
Yeah,
wrong, but like it's just so iconic for like so many different
yeah.
reasons. Maybe I can be convinced later in the show to move it, but for me, it's got to be an S tier for now.
It's a ledge I'm not gonna die on. So if we put it in S, if Jordan wants to put it in S, he's the tiebreaker.
I think we're putting an S. I think we're gonna go ahead
All
and put it
right.
in S. This is I was leaning between S and A. But you know, it is like this is what you see if you look at the comics, right? Like
Yeah.
that's what the suit looks like. It is almost as comic accurate as you can get with the thing. So
Mm.
have to give that some you know, a little bit of shout out there as well for it because
Mm-hmm.
you know, I feel like yeah, I'm kind of glad we didn't get the same suit for this movie just because it's been done correct comic accurate before. Like I don't mind like changing the shield or you know
Mm-hmm.
um maybe different material that kind of thing. So though I would think I would be harsher to the corn sweatsuit and we might rank that. It's on here. We'll see if we you know I don't know if we have
Mm.
enough
Oh
really to
wow.
rank it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if we have enough to rank it, but it's on here. But um if I think I'd be harsher to that suit if we had never had this suit. So I think this kind of opened the
Mm-hmm.
pathway for them to be able to explore different things because they nailed it on the first try. You know,
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to live action in color, right? Like most of the live action suits at this point were in black and white. Okay, so I guess let's go with some of these are very similar, so it's going to be
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
you know, let's
There's
go.
a lot of black suits on here. I didn't think of that either.
Yeah, we got a couple of the black suits. I guess let's do Henry Cavill's black suit. How about that? Let's kind of just hop around between eras, between stuff. We got the Henry
Mm.
Cavill black suit right here. Uh, let's start with you, Zeddy, this time. Your thoughts on, I guess, uh, these darker suits.
Mm.
Especially like the
Yeah.
black suit. It has comic precedence, all that kind of stuff. But you know, like,
Sure. And like and I love Death and Return of Superman. Like don't get me wrong. Black Suit is iconic in its own right. It's not my favorite iteration of Superman, nor is it my favorite costume of Superman. I understand the significance of it. But something about that suit, and like I was so excited to finally see him in the black suit. Like it's so funny. Yet when I saw it, I wasn't really that impressed by it. I just feel like the cape being gray makes it a little weird for me. Like maybe if like if the cape was black or something, maybe it looks a little better. But I'm actually gonna put that in C tier. I don't know if that's a hot take or not, but I'm gonna put that in C tier for me.
I'm so
Interesting.
relieved. I'm so relieved. I was like, if he loves this one, I don't know what I'm gonna do because
Yeah.
it was so it was so underused. It was, but I kind of resent it for the rallying cry of the darker side of the Snyder cult that does not let anything go and cannot embrace the new
Yeah.
future. And like I feel like this is their Superman suit. So even if the things I like about it are kind of sullied by that, which is
Mm-hmm.
sad because I was such a Zack Snyder fan. So it's sad that like we have that schism, that divide. But I'm so
Yeah.
relieved you put it in C tier because that's exactly where I would
Mm-hmm.
put it.
Yep.
I can put it there. It my thoughts on it are it like yeah, it's in the comics, right? And it feels like one of those things where you're like, that's neat that they did that. It's a nod to it. You're like, oh, that's neat. Never really one of my favorite things when it comes to especially with a cape, right? Like because most of the time in that comic he has like the no cape on, which I think
Yeah.
lends it a way different look for him. But
Mm.
I don't know. Even then, I haven't really been crazy. So I like appreciate like that's a nice nod to the return of Superman or whatever, but
Mm-hmm.
not one of my favorites. When it comes to the Cavill suit as a whole, I'm not super big on the crest, like the shield,
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm.
S, mainly the S. I
It's too
think that
busy.
S, it's just really thick. I don't know. It felt like that was kind of a Snyder thing or like a DCEU thing where it's like the bat is thick, the S is thick, like
Yeah.
everything was thick. And while I really like the live action, like the BVS Batman suit, I never really came around to the Superman suit in that, and we'll
Mm.
kind of touch on that with the Man of Steel one too. But
Yeah.
we'll put the black suit in the C tier then. So we can stick with the black suits. We have the Elseworlds Supergirl
Mm.
version of this suit.
My my boy Tyler Hecklin, but yeah,
And
it
here's what I'll say. I'll kick it off here.
okay.
I actually like this better than the Cavill one because I think the shield being silver with
Mm-hmm.
the S being black makes it stand out more
Mm-hmm.
than the kind of like the silver that we see on the S in the shield.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my biggest problem with the suit is he didn't really play Superman. He played a fantasy version of somebody who wore the
Yeah,
S
yeah.
shield and had the powers. So like
Sure.
I also feel like it's kind of like a screen printed T-shirt, um, kind of that
Mm.
kind of vibe with the S. Um, I'm okay with this being in B tier. I don't think it's horrible. But
Mm.
I always thought with a black suit that if he wore a red cape, it would pop. It'd be kind of like Batman Begins. I'd like
Oh.
to see the red. I'd like to see the red suit with a black cape one day. A red cape with a black suit someday.
Mm.
Um,
Hmm.
you know, also because then he wouldn't be very Batman like. I think it would be a cool idea.
Ooh.
Just throwing it out
Wait, so you
there.
want Batman with a black suit,
No,
red cape, or you want Superman with the black
I
suit, red cape?
I want Superman with a
Okay, okay.
red cape, black
Ooh.
suit. I think it would distinguish him,
That'd be an
his
interesting
black
aesthetic,
suit, from
actually.
like yeah.
Hmm.
Interesting.
Hmm.
Okay, any different thoughts, Zeddy, on this suit compared to the
No, I can agree with it being in B tier. For me, it was like top of C tier just because like the straps are like the only thing that holds it a little bit back for me. But
The
honestly,
strap
I'm okay
suit,
with it.
yeah.
I'm okay with it being in B tier because I think that it is a pretty good suit. Yeah.
All right, we'll put it in B. We'll revisit it if we start
Yeah.
putting other
Yeah.
things in B and move it around. Okay, let's go with how about Superman Returns?
Hmm.
Brandon
That is
Routh.
awkward Superman logo. It's just so small on his chest.
Yeah. I don't know. I do think sometimes people are a little harsh on this suit. My biggest knock against it is the maroon trunks and the maroon cape.
Hmm.
If those
Yeah.
were red, this would be like way higher on my list. But
Yeah,
they're
that
maroon.
whole movie had like a just off quality about it. It's very
Yeah.
symbolic.
Of
It's
that,
like
it
they get
was
so
the
many things right.
it was that time, I feel like, where they're still
Hmm.
like, we
Yeah.
can't do bright, right? So we tone it down. So I'm
Yeah, but
actually
you're also
also
kind of
really,
right. Yeah.
I really like the belt buckle being the NS as well. But yeah, that's another
Yeah.
That is a good touch.
thing.
Yeah. I mean, like, honestly, like, if the cape and, like, everything else was, like, more of a cherry red, and
Hmm.
you keep everything the way it is, honestly, yeah, you could be looking at, like, a S, maybe even A tier Superman suit, but, um, like, I agree with you, like, it's not an awful suit, like, don't get me wrong. Obviously, I wish the emblem was a little bit bigger and things like that. Cape was a little bit brighter red, it's a lot better, but I would put this in B tier. I don't know,
That's
like,
where I
are you
was
guys like
leaning.
that? Yeah.
I think B
Maybe, like,
I'll
tier.
allow
B
B
tier?
tier.
Yeah, we'll put
To
Yeah.
me, it's in between B and C. It's not in between B and
Yeah.
A. So like it's a to me this is an 80, not a 80, maybe 79. It's not a
Sure.
not like
yeah,
an
it's not
85.
an 89 or 90.
It's a 79.9, you know?
There we go. Yeah. Round it up.
I guess okay. Let's go with the other Routh suit, the Kingdom Come Crisis on Infinite Earth suit, because
Esther.
that's where I would put it. I would put it S tier.
I'm not gonna even S tier. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
even yeah. Just
First off,
I mean, like,
yeah.
what a work of art, like
Yeah, I mean, I wish, and I would even like. I didn't want to put this one on here because of like how close it is to this one already, but
hmm.
End of Crisis when he has it with the yellow and red instead of the black and red
Oh, yeah.
is doing good.
I love in Crisis when Lois asks him why the black, and he says, "Because
Hmm.
even in the darkest times, hope breaks through." And I love first off, I love Kingdom Come. It's one of the best Superman stories of all time. It's my favorite logo. When James Gunn revealed the S to be that S with the traditional
Hmm.
colors, I I I was that's the second I was sold. I was like, yes,
Hmm.
let's go. Um, everything is perfect. There's just not one thing wrong with that suit.
Yep. Agreed.
Yeah, just perfect. And this is what I mean by like if it you just take this red and put it on the Superman Returns
It's
suit and
perfect.
it is like perfect because it's almost the
Hmm.
same stuff. Like that
Hmm.
blue looks almost exactly the same. I feel like so
Yeah.
it really is just like so close,
Hmm.
but
We'll never
still far
have a
away.
Superman look more like Christopher Reeve than Brandon Routh.
True.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's honestly why he got the part.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I'm glad. I don't want to say I'm glad we didn't get a sequel to that, but like I'm glad that he was able to move on and do Legends of Tomorrow and Arrow
Oh,
and
absolutely.
then be already on staff for Crisis where they could touch
Yeah.
on this character again. Like that is
Yeah.
uh really I think kind of the biggest how we always say about bullets we've dodged. But this is the best bullet we've taken, I think, is
Sure.
Superman Returns
Yeah,
not getting a
Yeah.
movie
there you go.
and then
Yeah.
having Routh to be able to replay
Yeah.
this character more accurately.
Oh, I remember when fans were upset when he didn't get his Kingdom Come series or whatever, and they
Yeah,
ended up
yeah,
going with Hecklin instead. Remember all the
Hmm.
outcry about
yeah,
that? Yeah, that was a fun time.
yeah. Well, maybe those people should have showed up to Superman Returns, and then
I
it would
want to
have
go
had
to Earth
a.
2. I want to go to Earth 2 and see that show and then come back.
Yeah,
Yeah. You need like Rick and Morty, where they have the interdimensional cable, and,
Oh
so you
hell
can
yeah.
see those other worlds, and
pop in and
then.
out. Yeah.
All right, I guess let's change it up and do one that I think could go either way. Maybe let's go Tom Welling, red jacket, blue shirt. This was his de facto Superman look because he couldn't wear a suit the first like 6
Mm,
years before they put him in the blur outfit.
Red Bluebird.
This comes from like a totally different era of TV too, where you're like,
Yeah.
you talk about how we
Yeah.
couldn't have bright colors with the maroon. This was, we can't have costumes at all.
No
Yeah.
tights, no flights.
Put him in a shirt, put a red jacket as his cape. It's done.
Oh. Yeah, right. Yeah. Just let his droid be full of blue and red shirts.
His only outfits, yeah. And then when
Yeah.
Bizarro comes over, they reverse it because Bizarro has to wear
Bizarro has to wear a blue jacket and a red
red
shirt.
shirt.
Come on now. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Well, I don't want to know the difference, so I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she didn't know the difference.
No.
I have a lot of nostalgia for this, but as a Superman suit, right? Like, it's not really a suit, right? I did add this to the list. It wasn't on there, but you know, for half of the show's run, this was what he was wearing when he was being a superhero. So I felt like I should include it.
Sure.
I don't know even what to do with this because it's not really a Superman suit, but it's like iconic in its very ordinary way.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably a D, but above the Nick Cage, unless
Oh, of
if
course.
anybody is thinking otherwise.
Everything's above Nick Cage.
It's 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 so tough because like you guys, like Smallville was my jam. Like I it was like my show growing up. So it's like, do I give the level of like disrespect to put it in like
Yeah.
top of like D tier, or do I just like be generous and put it in C tier? But I mean, then again, this is a Superman costume
Right.
ranking, so I guess we might as well just put it in top of like D. I guess
We'll put it top of D.
if we're being fair. But yeah, I'm sorry, Tom. I love you,
Yeah.
but I'll be generous on another suit that we got coming up.
Yes.
I promise.
I have this fresh in my mind because I just my first watch through of Smallville. That show I don't know how I didn't watch when it was on. Like, how did this miss me? But we've gone through our first like watch through for each season, and Clark becomes more and more Superman to the point where it's like he's Superman to me anyway.
But we can't call him that.
Right, yeah.
Oh boy.
We can call him Superman, but we can't call him Superman.
Yeah, you know, I was listening to a great interview with Jeff Johns on Always Hold On to Smallville, which I recommend people check out. But they had an interview with Jeff Johns for the Booster episode. And he was referencing that one time he was on set, and I think it was the Legion episode when the Legion came by. And they were going to say like something about Superman, and he gets like cut off while he's saying it, like the Legion does. And the network or the executive said, can't do it. Like somebody at WB or DC said, can't do it. And Jeff Johns was on set that day and just because he wrote the episode, and he just called them and was like, let's work this out because it's Jeff Johns. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He is writing comics at this time as well. So he just calls somebody. He's like, why can't we do it? And they're like, well, we just can't. And he's like, can we do it? And they let him do it then. But I was like, WB has had some of the weirdest rules when it comes to stuff like this. Like,
they're the worst company throughout the years. There's no doubt.
You promote it as a young Superman show, and you won't let them say Superman.
Can't have Batman on TV. Can't say Gotham. Yeah, you know, it's just it's ridiculous. Yeah,
brutal. All right, let's go with the George Reeve suit. They have a colorized version of it over here next to Dean Cain. So I guess let's take a look at that one. And I mean, maybe not as iconic. I feel like people kind of just don't pay much attention to the George Reeves stuff, right? So I am not too familiar with him as it. Like, I haven't checked in on that stuff as much either. So I don't know. Chris, do you have any thoughts on George Reeves?
Like it's like I'm like you guys. Like it's not the most memorable or iconic iteration of Superman for me. Like obviously, I don't want to be disrespectful because like obviously, like he has his fans and as the costume should and everything like that. But honestly, like if I and like I know like it feels dated, but it also is kind of similar to Christopher Reeves too. But I'm okay with putting this at like top of C. I don't know if that's being a little too harsh, but I feel like I would put both suits at like in C tier for me.
Yeah,
Because like they're not awful suits, but like they're also like I think there's still a lot more better ones
the
than
cape is
those.
pretty thin. Like it's like
Yeah,
oddly like not
Yeah,
wide.
not wide. Yeah.
Hmm.
like for a what, for a 40s, 50s, whenever that show came out, like
Yeah,
it is what it is, kind of thing, you know.
yeah. I don't think anyone complained about it at the time, and I don't think anyone should have. So I have
Yeah,
nothing against the suit. I have no emotional attachment to the suit.
yeah, same.
So we want to go top C.
That's where I would put it.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, there we go. Top C. Um, okay, then we also have the Superman serials suit, which is on the other side of Dean Cain over there.
Mm.
Black and white suit. I think that's that. It might also be. It might be another George Reeves. I don't think it's George Reeves. I think it's the serials. But like I said, some of these are like hard to tell.
Because I feel like there's a lot of overlap too with some of these.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So I don't know. I feel like I would be putting it in C as well. Like it's Superman. It's just
yeah,
in black and white. Like
That's fair.
yeah.
I don't
I
think
would put it in C tier as well.
I kind of like the S on it.
Yeah,
Actually, I think the S is really cool.
I think the aesthetic of watching it in black and white, like maybe in action,
Oh yeah,
maybe
yeah.
Yeah.
elevates it a little bit more. Yeah, I can see that.
All right, and then we'll leave the sepia tone one and the other black and white one. We don't have to touch on those. Also, is this like Ben Affleck as Superman? What is this down here?
What?
That's from Hollywoodland.
Oh, is it?
Oh,
He
okay.
played George. He actually played George Reeves in that movie.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
it was how he got shot. Or spoiler alert, I guess.
We don't
Yeah,
have to. We don't have to rank that. What spoiler alert on
yeah,
somebody's real life?
yeah. I guess.
Spoiler
Yeah.
alert on that.
If you haven't seen it, what happened to George Reeves is Hollywoodland. But yeah, that was a thing. Yeah,
We won't rank these three because I just don't know if there's
Right.
enough to really rank those.
I still cannot fathom that actually happened. But that's another topic for another day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is.
When did he play him? When was
I
that?
think that movie came out in 2006, so it was like actually right at the time of Superman Returns, I think.
Yeah, so it's like 3 years after Daredevil, a couple years, 10 years before BVS.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 2006. So yeah.
Okay. So I guess let's go with Superboy. There's two Superboy suits on here because two different people played Superboy. One is to the left of the trench coat suit, and one is to the right of Henry Cavill here. They're both very similar, so I feel like we would just be able to put these in the same spot if we want to.
Mhm.
I am not too familiar with the Superboy show. I think you can only watch it by buying the DVDs at this point. But I know people that like it.
If you
It's
can
a
even
show that
track it
missed
down.
me.
Yeah.
It's a show that missed me. I'm not gonna lie about
Yeah.
that.
I do think the one on Cavill side's a little bit more cleaner.
Yeah, yeah, I think so too.
But
Yeah.
I would agree that I would pair them together personally.
Yeah, they're about the same. The only difference for me that I like for the one on the left is the trunks are a little wider.
Yeah.
Oh, that's about it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think I like the S and the color of the blue on the right one by Cavill
Agreed.
Yeah. I
better.
do too.
So are we thinking B or C?
I'm okay with putting the one on Cavill side at the very end of B,
Yeah.
like next to L.
Okay, let's do that.
Yeah.
And then this other one we would put C.
Yeah.
Top of C.
Maybe yeah. Right there. Yeah.
Like right
yep,
here?
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That works for me.
Cool. So I had to look up this other one to the left of Dean Cain here, okay? Because this one I was not familiar with. This is David Wilson. And he played him. This is something that was new to me. And it's a bird, it's a plane, it's Superman. 1975 TV movie on ABC, which was a truncated version of a flopped 1966 musical about Superman.
You know, it's funny. I think I heard about that on Digging for Kryptonite, but I have no other.
Oh, I'm sure
Yeah,
Anthony knows all about it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm sitting here trying to figure out why that sounds familiar because there's no chance I've seen it.
I mean, everything that you just read off sounds exactly right to me.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm like, I can definitely roll with that. I mean, it's not a bad suit.
No, the shield is a little different. Like if people are
I do like
familiar,
the triangle.
it's like a more triangular.
It's very old
yeah.
school, like very first appearance of Superman-ish. So
Yes, close to that. Yeah.
yeah,
I don't hate it,
I
but
like the
I feel
belt
like I can
too.
put that in like top of D tier.
D's
Yeah.
fine. Yeah.
He's
Or
fine.
top of
I
D.
think the
Yeah.
belt kind of looks cheap.
Oh, I
Yeah.
like. Maybe I'm just cheap.
I can't.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay.
There we go.
There we go.
If you see the angle
Yeah.
I have of it, because I'm more zoomed in on my side, the belt is
Yeah.
a little cheap. It's
Yeah. Like you can tell, like it's definitely like a play.
Yes.
Like a
Maybe I
stage
gotta.
play Superman.
Yes.
Maybe I
suit.
gotta zoom in on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we're getting closer and closer. Let's go to Dean Cain,
Okay.
I guess. Lois and Clark. I grew up watching this show. I'm pretty sure I watched it sometimes live, but probably caught more of it on syndication after it was done. Like my mom would just be watching it, and I'd come in and be like, "Oh, like this was my exposure to Superman before Smallville," and of course, I knew Superman from the Reeve films and the animated series, but like this was probably one of my first Superman experiences was Dean Cain. And I think whether you agree or disagree with his politics, I think he plays a good Clark and a good Superman. And I think there's this weird movement online because they disagree with him, that they are trying to say he's not, they'll always be like, oh, he's the worst one or whatever. And I just don't agree with that. Like, I feel like sometimes we just have to put that stuff aside and look at the performance. Nobody in the 90s knew he was the way he is. So,
right.
For a lot of people, this was their Superman. And I can see why. I think he was a good actor. I wouldn't put him in my top, but I think he is. I think for what it was, the time it was, and the show it was, I think he was a good fit.
I think legacy-wise, he's right there under Hecklin and Welling. I think there's, Henry Cavill is in the top conversation. Reeve is in the top conversation. Obviously, Hecklin's my favorite, but I think Kane was really good. And I've seen the whole first season of that show, and I kind of have to go back to it. But I've also seen random episodes on TV just because it was on. So, yeah, I think he plays a good Clark. I don't love his Superman because his Superman is often just really silly, like story thing. But yeah, I think
But
he plays
yeah,
a really good Clark.
I would say that's more to the writing than
Right,
probably
no.
Dean Cain
Yeah.
is probably the issue there. But I think the suit for being a 90s TV show, I think is and I actually really like the royal blue look to it. We've kind of seen a lot of these other TV ones, the Superboy
It
suits
looks
we were
like
just
an
looking at.
animated suit in live
Yeah.
action.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I actually agree with you guys. I don't know if this is, I mean, there is something just nostalgic about it, and like I just love the way it looks and he looks in it. Again, separating how you may feel now as opposed to then. This is a costume tier, ranking. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna put this in A. I don't know if
Yeah.
it's a hot take or
Well,
not, but
it's better than the B tier suits. It really is.
yeah, and like there's just something that like when you look at it, like it just feels like Superman.
Yeah.
Even though it's a TV Superman suit, it just I don't know.
Superman's better on TV
Yeah,
anyway.
I think the royal blue I think that's what I prefer on Superman than that like
Mhm.
pale Reeve suit and the pale
Mm-hmm.
Superboy suits. Is like I like the royal blue, like you said,
Yeah.
Chris. It's very like Superman animated series. That's
Oh
what it
yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
reminds me of.
Yeah. It's only crazy like that suit only came after a few years after Christopher Reeve was done. So it's like
Yeah,
I guess they only needed like 4 years to crack the code. So
Yeah.
there you go. Yeah.
yeah, and it was going on, I think, around the same time as the Superboy
Yeah.
suits. Like that show, I think, was like
Yeah.
late '80s, early '90s, so around the
Yeah.
same
They were
time.
hiding it.
Um, okay, let's go with Cavill and his Man of Steel suit. This is the Man of Steel version. It was, that's what the screenshot is from. I remember where I was when they first unveiled the look at this with the bank vault thing where he got
Yeah.
pushed into it, and the debate of were there trunks or not because of the way that the shadow fell. Nobody could
Yeah.
tell. Um, I remember that vividly because even then I was Team Trunks, and I still
Mm-hmm.
am, and that is why I am not super big on this suit. I am not super big on the darker tones of it. Not the movie, the suit. Like it being duller
Mm-hmm.
in that sense. I think like I really like the Black Adam version of this suit.
Ah.
Where it's a
Yeah.
little bit more popping with the colors. But this suit itself here from Man of Steel, not the biggest fan of it.
Yeah.
Mm.
I would put this in a B tier for me. If it had trunks, I would go A tier. I agree with you on the Superman S from the Cavill movies. I think
Yeah.
that S is a little busy, and like apparently it had like the Kryptonian writing and stuff in it, and it's like there's too much to see to really appreciate it. And then I
Mm.
just really want the trunks. Like it's too dark too. Like it looks like a wetsuit.
Yeah, like I feel like if you give it the royal blue and because I feel like the red in the cape is fine, the emblem's fine. But I would put this at top of B
I
for
mean,
me
how
personally.
many edits have you seen from fans who have a brighter blue suit?
Yeah, yeah, like them coloring it in. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I'd probably agree. I think
Yeah,
if we have the black and white version at C, I think putting this one at B
Sure.
makes sense. It's the
yeah,
more iconic version of it. But yeah,
yep.
I just really feel like there needs to be something that breaks up the middle of the suit.
Make it
Hmm.
less
That's kind of
boring.
my
Yeah.
yeah. Because if you stand from
Yeah.
it from here and just look at all these suits, and you see the trunks breaking it up, and you see that one just continue to be like dark blue, it
Hmm.
just looks like something's missing to me.
Yeah.
Totally
All
agree.
right, let's go to how about the Superman and Lois Fleischer suit,
S
the one
tier.
that Ma Kent made.
My mom made it for me. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're all gonna start crying now. That there you go.
Top five
Yeah, that's
Superman moment. Top five
like
Superman moment.
that has to be like S tier just because it's one of my greatest fan moments I feel like I've even experienced. Is just the fact that like that was a real life scene like
Yeah.
brought from like page to
Yeah.
screen. I mean,
Probably still my
like,
favorite episode of the show. That episode where he is, you know, struggling to being tortured or whatever, and
mhm,
you're seeing all of these moments, and that first like half of the show
yeah,
where it is all just like Superman in Metropolis saving this, meeting Lois, the TV interview, like it is just banger after banger after
Mhm.
banger scene
yeah,
of like what I want. And that's why I think I'm really excited for the movie too, is because it seems like we're getting a movie of that, right? Like
yeah,
Yes.
extend
yep,
that opening
Yeah.
out to a movie and you get what I think we're getting. So I think
yeah,
that's why too. But the Fleischer suit looks good too, just as a whole. But
yeah.
uh
I mean, like, look at him in it. I mean, like,
yeah.
tell me that isn't Superman. Like,
That might be the best suit. So I mean, like that might be the best suit, like animated or live action. It's
I mean, like, if we were getting technical, I would even put it in fun of about Kingdom Come, but I'm okay with where it is because
I'll put it
They're
there.
it's an
both.
S tier either way. So
I
I mean,
love those two suits so much.
yeah.
So yeah, you're good with that. I'm good with that.
Yeah, I'm good with that. Because I picked it in our superhero draft with
Ooh,
Andy DiGenova. Actually, I picked
nice.
that suit, and it is because it is a fantastic suit. um,
Yeah,
so
that was
yeah, I
good.
was really
Yeah,
excited for that.
Yeah,
yeah.
it really is.
Okay, what do we got here? What do we got? We got 3 Welling suits. I feel like we gotta knock one of these out here. Do we want to go trench coat or the blur?
So I have a hot take on the trench coat one.
Okay,
I
spill it.
feel like he just looks so badass in it. Um, for me, it's actually A. I don't know. That might be the hot take of the show, but I just think he just looks badass in it. It looks really cool to me. He looks mysterious, but you can tell it has like a sense of hopefulness to it too. It was such an upgrade at the time. So for me, I put it in A. I could be swayed into putting it in B, but for me, it's an A. It's an A level suit.
I love it, so it's fine with me today. For
Yeah.
me, this suit is the closest you're gonna get to like Speeding Bullets Superman suit. Like it's so
It
far
also
away
looked
from.
way better in action too. It was one of
Yes,
those
it
rare
Yeah.
things
did.
where like, yeah,
Well, because the trench
Yeah,
coat is almost like a cape. Like we talk about
yeah,
the coat for the red coat,
yeah.
blue shirt being a cape, but like the trench coat has that flow to it where it is way more capish.
I
hmm
I
Um,
th- I think I remember this suit for one specific reason because it came with him laser visioning the S symbol and burning it
yeah,
like, and
hmm
it just to me this was Superman, well Tom Welling, Clark Kent,
yeah,
accepting that he was who he was. You know, it,
yeah,
it to me it was just a monumental moment for the show, and I'm giving it an A tier. I can't go S because it doesn't have the traditional colors. I have a pretty strong no trunks no S tier rule for me.
yeah.
But yeah, this is
I'll
A
put it
tier.
in A. I'll put it in A.
hmm
I'm not as big on it as
Nice.
other people. Like I actually like the blur one a lot better. I think because of it being red and blue. But
Mm,
if that one was a trench coat as well, I feel like it would really work. I think the trench coat part is what really makes this work. I think.
yeah.
I'll tell you who would have a field day in the Smallville universe. That's J. Jonah Jameson, ladies and gentlemen. Superman
Yeah.
lasering his family crest on buildings. J. Jonah Jameson would be like, "This guy's a menace." He would be hating
Yeah.
this guy.
Oh my
He's
god.
leaving his fire graffiti all over town.
Yeah, he would not be. He would not be having
Him and Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man was a team up we never got.
it. Yeah.
Dude.
All right, let's go to. There was a little bit of a crossover here in the sense of the writers who were show running Smallville wrote Spider-Man 2
Mm,
um, by Sam Raimi. So there you go. Let's go with the Supergirl Hecklin suit. A lot of people dislike this due to the shoulder patches, right? Like I feel like that is the main knock against it. But I guess any other thoughts on this suit?
Yeah, the shoulders are really rough.
I don't
Everything
hate the
else
shoulder.
works.
I don't hate them the way other people do, but I do think I'm glad that for Superman and Lois they changed it to
yeah.
not
Yeah.
having that.
Like I feel like it makes it stand out in the wrong ways, even though it really makes it
Hmm.
stand out. But like the crest is so good.
Yeah.
Everything
Like I feel
works.
like if they just ditched the shoulder pads or like maybe just condensed them a little bit. Um, but like I don't hate it like you like I don't hate it the way a lot of people do. So I can put that like in B tier. Like I'd be okay with that. 'Cause it's not an
I,
awful suit.
as a guy who watched Supergirl and didn't get distracted by the suit's shoulders during the show, I'm fine with that. I don't think
Yeah.
it's bad enough to like in action to take away from everything else that works.
hmm
Or what part of B? Like ahead of
I
Cavill,
feel like
behind Cavill,
in behind Cavill. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm okay
Yeah.
with that.
above the black and white version.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
All right, how about Superman and Lois version of the suit then? They upgraded a bit, still no trunks, but they actually toned down the blue a bit. It's almost Man of Steel blue here, which and I think season 4 has even darker blue.
It
Um,
does.
Yeah. Like that show to me, like it felt like it wanted to crack the code to making the perfect Superman suit, but it just never really could. I don't know if it was for color saturation reasons or for some other reasons, but that to me is like the perfect epitome of an A suit.
Yeah.
Um, if the
If
shade of blue in his emblem didn't look so like distorted, I don't know if that's the right term, but like it would definitely be an S suit, but that to me is like top of A. I would put that suit.
this is the best you can do without trunks.
Yeah.
so above Dean, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that. All right, so we got the Blur, and then we got Tom Welling shirt rip, and I think we're good.
Yeah.
Because I don't even know what this blue one is over here. That
Is
might
that one
be.
from Lois and Clark?
It
Is that
might be
when he wore
Dean.
the
It
black
might be Dean Kane's black
Dean
suit,
Kane's black suit? Yeah.
but
But
I
That's what
like
I'm
you
can't
got
thinking
to
of.
see the
tell.
bottom of it. So
They're just showing
That's
junk.
weird that
All
they
right, I
would
don't.
that they would show that part of it. Like at least show the crest because that would make it more obvious.
Yeah, because the
right.
crest is blue. Like that would be cool, but I
Yeah.
can't
And
guarantee that.
that's definitely Dean Kane too, because I just saw that online the other day. Yeah.
Okay, so it is Dean Kane's, but they're just
Yeah,
showing
I think it is. Yeah.
his
I think it is.
junk in the trunk. Okay, so we can rank that
I
one.
mean,
We can rank that one.
if we had to put it, I would put it in C.
See,
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
good with
that's
that.
what I would put in.
I'm like googling the suit now though.
it's got
Yeah.
like a black. It's like black and blue crest, which I actually really like the shield, but
I don't
that's
think
why.
he had a cape too.
No,
Yeah,
That
he
he
didn't
did
even have
bright
not.
a cape on
blue.
that one. Yeah.
That bright blue is pretty cool. Like the S is cool in that. All right. Yeah, I like where we put it, but and this is a different take on it.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna have to finish
Yeah.
watching
Yeah,
Lois and
I
Clark
gotta
now.
I
I
gotta
gotta
watch
see
that
this
show.
in action.
Yeah. I think it was like a whole arc actually, like of a season, I feel like.
Oh
If
wow.
I remember correctly. Yeah.
All right, I guess let's go with
Yeah.
the red blue blur leather jacket look.
Dude, I was thinking, could I buy a jacket just like this? And like I found it on Amazon. Very
Yeah, you can.
expensive.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah,
expensive.
Very expensive.
what is it, like
Um,
$400?
the one I saw was $272. So
Oh. But they haven't taxed you yet, so you gotta
yeah, so it's $300 all in all. So
And then
tax
shipping, right?
overseas shipping,
yeah,
and then the tax for the shipping.
yeah. So yeah, I couldn't swing it, but it would be cool. I would wear it every Halloween.
I want the Funko of this. I really do.
Yeah.
It just came out, I think. The Funko.
Yeah,
of
it did.
this.
It looks cool. I'm good with this being a B tier. What about you guys?
I think, sadly for me, it's probably in the C.
I mean, I can allow it. It's not really a Superman suit, so
I
I can
mean,
allow it.
like kind of like you guys said earlier, like I remember like the moment when I first saw this suit like pop up like on the screen, and like I just felt like so overjoyed because I was like, oh my god, he's like, this is the closest Superman he's ever been in
Can you
like 9 or
imagine
10
it if
seasons of
there was like
Smallville.
a
So
yellow S on there, like
yeah,
yeah,
um,
there was like a like you
like
can sometimes see when it's close up, but like when it's not zoomed in, you
yeah,
can't tell that it's got the Superman logo.
Yeah.
my nostalgia is clouding me to put it in B, but like if it has to be in C, I can live with it.
Yeah, I think that's a very fair way to say that.
C or B? Because I can put it in B. I'm a fan of this suit. So if you guys want to
Yeah.
put it B, we can do that. Like tail end of B.
Tail end of
Yeah,
B is fine.
I would do tail end of B.
I
Yeah,
care about it more than the Superboy suits, so
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah. But I think as a Superman suit, that Superboy suit's better. So I have to put that
Yeah,
here.
yeah,
that's fair. That's
that's
fair.
very fair.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess we'll wrap it up here with the Tom Welling shirt rip. This one's hard to grade. This one was not one I added; it was on there. So
Well,
one, it's
we've already
entirely
rated it.
CG. It's
We've,
entirely CG. It is already the Ralph suit.
yeah, we've already basically rated it.
They do color it to be a little redder, I feel like, than the maroon.
Yeah, they do.
And like his cape when they show him looking at Lois, and you only see from this up, and you see the cape billowing behind him. It is red.
Yeah.
It is not maroon. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, kind of an interesting case. I feel like we would put it probably around the spot of Ralph, right? But we never actually see him wear it. So does that
Yeah,
demote it?
like you really only see like that specific
Yeah.
close up of it.
Man, they really did us dirty with that finale.
Like for like as like that. Yeah, I feel like that's right. Like just by Ralph, I feel like is
Yeah, it's about the same thing,
yeah,
objectively.
like it,
Yeah, like
if
somewhere
we
around
had
here.
gotten more with it, then I can live with it being higher up. But like
Mhm.
the royal blue looks great. I love the way the S looks on him. He
Yeah.
looks great. He looks great in the shot, so I'm
Mhm.
okay with it. Yeah.
If only he would have worn it, right? Like
If they had
I
just let
think
him warn it like one time for the
Well,
finale,
he
even
was
if it was
up
like
for
10
it.
minutes, like I know he didn't
yeah,
want to,
yeah,
but
he was
like yeah,
very anti
yeah.
that, which is a
And it's a
bummer.
shame he felt that way because I feel like as he got older, he really did like look like Superman.
Yeah. Well,
Mhm.
As he was getting older, yeah,
I remember when Returns was announced, and I was thinking, like, can they just cast Tom Welling? Like, he's doing the show, like, end the
yeah,
show by doing the movie, and I felt like
yeah,
that would have been cool. I'm kind of
yep,
glad they didn't do that now because I love that we got those later seasons where we got a little bit more DC stuff like Booster, like the JSA and all
yeah,
that. But, at that time when it was happening, I was like, he looks like
yeah,
Superman. He is my Superman right now. Just put him
Yeah.
in the
hmm
movie.
yeah. So where would we put if we had to like play the theoretical game? I know we're not ranking it, but where would we put Corn Sweat's suit right now? For me,
Good
it's an
question.
A.
I was going to ask you
But
this because I was
yeah,
like, we don't have to rank it, but I was going to ask, as it stands right now, where are you putting this?
I
For
think I might be
me,
putting it. Okay, I'll let you go. Uh,
I think we might be on the same page. I feel like I would be putting this behind the Kingdom Come in the S tier.
yep, exactly.
The biggest knock I have against it is the lines. Um,
yeah,
but there's some shots where I really love the suit, like when he's getting
hmm
arrested and like he's with Rick Flag and
yeah,
Ultraman and stuff. Like I think it pops and looks fantastic. And then there's times where it gets real dirty and it
hmm
doesn't look as good. Um, so I don't know. I'm like that first look of it. I was a fan of it, but I like everything I get since then. I'm like, they really should have picked a different shot. Like I agree with people in that. For the first look, they
yeah.
probably should have picked
I
a
was
better.
exactly with you. Like when I first saw the suit, I was like, it looks good, but I was like, that's an interesting choice. And then like everything I feel like I've seen since then has made me love the suit more. And I feel like once we're like in the theater and it pops a little bit more and he's in action and he's doing more Superman things in it, I feel like by the end of the movie it could be like the best Superman suit maybe
That's
we've
where I've
gotten.
kind
But
of landed too. I think is
yeah,
like,
but
Yeah,
it's a very great suit like on paper right now, I feel like.
it's got my favorite logo in the traditional colors. I can't beat that.
Yeah.
It's got trunks. I can't beat that. I don't really love the S on the cape. It's my only real thing.
oh, I really
Um,
like that.
Oh,
I
you're
I
not an
didn't
F
know.
on the Cape guy.
Look,
I
Wow.
know, which is weird because most of the people who like trunks like the S on the cape. I don't hate
Yeah,
the S on the cape.
yeah.
I think it looks good. I just think there's so many shots where like the S on the cape doesn't look like the right size. Like I don't
Mhm.
know. It's
I
kind of
think
hard to
for
judge.
me, I always never really cared about the S on the cape. Like I was not one of those like not the way I was with trunks where I'm like need it, need it, need it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Once I saw it on there, especially in those like set photos when he and Mr. Terrific
Mhm.
are looking up at the sky or whatever,
Yeah.
I'm like, this pops. I love this so much that like
Yeah.
I can't imagine it without it now. So
Mhm.
it's like everything except for those lines. I'm not even, I know people are down on the collar, but like I don't mind the collar that much.
Mhm.
I've come around to the color a little bit.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think in action, seeing it, like you said, Zeddy, like in the movie, like this might
Yeah.
become very high on the list for me. But like that shot they just showed of him in the fortress, just standing there, I'm like,
Mhm.
that's him.
Let's
That's Superman.
go.
You know?
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
What's up, robot
Yeah.
number 4? Let's go.
Yeah. The clip today, even it looked great then when he's like, I
Yeah,
got to
it
get
really
back
did.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
So I
yeah.
don't know.
It's
It's
so good.
interesting.
Yeah. 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 Even
Alrighty.
even that clip of like Lois just cooking Guy Gardner was like,
Yeah.
like amazing, amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm. You know, people. I've heard people say like, "What is differentiating this from like the other films?" And I'm like, not just crypto, but like just the fact there's other
Yeah.
metahumans interacting
Yeah.
with Superman and
Hmm.
uh with his cast. Like just knowing that Lois and Guy Gardner have a scene together, like that's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Like, come on, man. Yeah.
Not expecting that.
I think Metamorpho is going to be that secret MVP. I think he's going to be that, well, not really MVP, but I think he's going to be a guy who makes a huge impact on this. Because going into this, he's kind of my wild card of this group.
Hmm.
All right. Well, I guess before we wrap it up here,
Yeah.
let's just go through it one
Yeah.
more time here and we'll just see if we need to move anything one last time. But I think we're kind of locked in here. We have our S tier, the Christopher Reeve suit, number 1. We have the Fleischer Superman and Lois suit as number 2. And we have Kingdom Come Ralph 3. In the A tier, we have Superman and Lois, his normal suit, modern suit. Dean Cain, Lois and Clark, and then Trenchcoat, Blur from Smallville season 9. Those are your 2 top tiers there. In the B tier, the most populated tier that we have Man of Steel, Supergirl Hecklin suit, Elseworlds Hecklin suit, Brandon Routh Returns suit, a variation of that with Tom Welling finale Smallville, Superboy syndicated TV show suit, and then the Blur red leather jacket suit from Smallville. Then in the C tier, we have the other rendition of the Superboy outfit. We have George Reeves. We have the serial Superman, black and white. We have Man of Steel. Well, I guess this is Justice League, right? Henry Cavill, black and white suit. And then Dean Cain's black and blue suit. And in the D tier, we have the It's a Bird, It's a Plane, It's Superman musical ABC 1975 TV special suit. We have the red jacket, blue shirt, Smallville suit, and the 2 Nick Cage suits from Superman Lives. Feel pretty good about it, right? I feel like we're good about it.
I feel like that looks about right, actually, to me.
Yeah. I
All
don't
right.
think we made any major blunders. I think people can have differences in their rankings.
Certain
But
fans are going to tell us otherwise, but we can live with
oh,
it.
we know
Yes,
which ones
yeah.
they are too.
Bring it. Bring the heat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll put that up there after the episode premieres as well, so people can see our image and where we ranked everything. Like I said, if you did the audio version, make sure you check out the video version if you wanted to see exactly what we're talking about, or I guess you can wait until the picture comes out. But yeah, thanks, Zeddy, for coming on. You want to tell people where they can find you and follow you on social media?
Absolutely. Thank you guys. This was a blast. I had a lot of fun doing this, so thank you guys. Yeah, you guys can follow me everywhere on social media. Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd. I'm at Nick Zednik. And you guys can hear me over on the Vigilante 1939 podcast. Search the name of the show, and that you can find it anywhere you get your podcast at. Thank you, guys.
Yeah,
Thank
make
you.
sure you check that out. Good show, good podcast. So
Thank you.
yeah.
check that
Appreciate
out.
it.
Here on our show at Soups and Sabers on all of our social media. You can also like and subscribe to us on the YouTube channel where we're growing there. Like I said, every Sunday until after Superman premieres, we will be talking Superman every single week. Next week is our all-star Superman. We talk the comic, we talk the movie. That's going to be fun. And then we'll have some other fun stuff leading up to. I think we want to touch on like for all seasons, I think, right? There was another thing, Chris, that we had working out. So
Yeah.
we have some cool stuff there. And then we have Fantastic Fridays coming up too, which is not every Friday, but we are doing our lead into Fantastic Four First Steps as well. July, it's going to be busy.
Nice.
And then I'm going to be starting recording my Flash rewatch podcast, Enter Flash Time. So that's going to be recording probably in August for September. So that's the plan. Can't wait to dive in. And for the listeners, again, it's not just Flash. Every episode Barry appears in the Arrowverse we're going to talk about. So that's going to be too long of a journey, and I'm going to regret that probably halfway through. But
once season
Probably.
6 comes, season 6, you'll
Yeah.
be like, no, I'm done.
we will see.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the goal.
Wait till you get to the lightsaber duel.
Yeah. I remember I saw that before I even watched the show, and I was like, what is this? But in the show, I liked it better than I think
It's a doozy.
the memes.
It's still top 3 superhero show for me. I love it, and I think seasons 1 through 5 were almost perfect.
Yeah, I have. I thank you for setting that up, Chris. I actually have my tier rankings of the seasons of the show already up on Enter Flash Time, so people can check that out. I'm calling it preseason coverage as we build into my rewatch, but that should be fun. I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, thank you all for watching and listening along with us. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll catch you next Sunday for more Superman Sunday fun.